Why do you use 2 hands?
It's a big coffee. Heavy. Hefty boy.
I think sometimes I forget how much bigger my hands are than yours.
No, I have big hands for a girl. I do though. Oh, look at these long fingers. Look at these. Hello everyone, welcome back to Foster the Meeple, a channel all about
board games
and
board gaming things.
Exactly. We're back again today with another board game snapshot.
Yes, we are. What?
A board game snapshot.
What are we doing here?
Oh God, okay, there it is. I was like, did you actually forget? I was getting a little worried about you. For anybody that doesn't know, our board game snapshot videos are a series of videos where we do 5 mini reviews of games we've been playing recently. And this one's going to be slightly different because we don't have the games with us. Some of them we own, which have been sent to us for review. Some of them have not. So Jeff recently went to a wargaming convention called Circle DC.
Sure did.
And he played a bunch of games there. And I recently went to a little convention called Canada Plays. And I played a bunch of games.
Yeah, you did. 23
games, 30 plays. Something like, maybe it was 28. I don't remember. Anyways, it's crazy. So we want to talk about some of those games today. Yeah, so I'll get started because I have the first.
Sure.
So 3 of the games only I've played. 2 of the games only Jeff has played. So we're going to be ping-ponging today.
Correct.
What's that game?
Ping pong?
Pong. Oh, the computer game.
Got it.
Don't spill this. So, for the first game for me, it's going to be Juicy Fruits from Capstone Games. Now, we do have a review copy of this game, which was sent to us from Capstone Games, so shout out to them. So, what?
Do you remember how many times we had a conversation about Juicy Fruits and whether or not we owned it?
Yes.
And we didn't?
Yes, but we do now.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying, like, there was, like, a 2-year period where we were like, oh, yeah. Juicy Fruits, we have that game, and we didn't.
It's because we had the expansion. We had the expansion, but we didn't have the game. We had the expansion because I got it in like a goodie bag from Canada Plays. Anyways, so Juicy Fruit, like I said, Juicy Fruits is from Capstone Games. It's a very unique game. I actually think you'd really like it. It is like a puzzle style game. So basically, everybody has a little map in front of them. And on that map, there are like boats kind of along the edge of it, and they're orders that you're trying to fulfill. So like one boat will have like 2 apples, 3 bananas. And another boat will have like 2 limes and 2 bananas, whatever it might be. And they're all around your boat. So what you are doing is you have one of each of the fruit kind on your player mat. And as many spaces as you move your fruit, that's how many you collect. So you're kind of like manipulating it because like, oh, I can only move the lime so far here, but if I move it over here and I move the banana down, then I can get it 4 spaces over next time to get 4 limes.
I'm having a hard time visual. I know what you're talking about, but I'm having a hard time.
You know those puzzles, the sliding puzzles?
Yes.
It's like that.
Oh, so it's in a recessed.
Well, yeah, it's like on a board like this, and let's just say this, you guys can't see this, but let's just say this is a grid, my banana was here, I would go slide it up, I would get 2 bananas because I've moved it 2 squares.
I got you.
Yeah.
But then that movement allows you to move your
exactly,
line.
And if I had something here, maybe I move my grapes over here, and then now I can move my bananas down
so
here.
So you can keep moving as many, but you can't go back and forth, I'm assuming.
You can, yeah. But like not in the same turn. So I could go like
you're only moving
bananas,
one fruit,
bananas.
one turn. Yeah, okay, got you.
Anyway, so you're doing
that sounds fun.
Yeah, you're doing that to fulfill different orders. And then there's a kind of like bigger board that has different orders that you can fill that will allow you to put out things like restaurants onto your board that will score you endgame points.
But does that block your movements?
It does, yeah. It fills up your board, but it's giving you points. Or you can like make different ice creams, and then that's just points. You put them off to the side, but they're harder to make. So there's a bunch of different things like that. It's so unique and so puzzly, and you're not getting in each other's way. Like the only thing that you're doing that could affect another player is maybe taking something from the board that they want to take, essentially.
Yeah, it reminds me, there used to be like the old handheld little like puzzles that would do that.
Yeah.
Why that's also interesting to me is a lot of video games, old retro video games, would utilize that system for in-level puzzles.
Yeah, I mean, there's even like in Mansions of Madness has stuff like that as well. I loved it. It's so colorful and fun and silly because you're like, oh, I got 3 and you got like a pile of all of these fruits, and the fruits look like those little runt candies.
Yep.
And it was just really fun, and it does play solo, and I'm really curious to play this one solo because it really is like it's multiplayer solitaire,
right?
Essentially, like this.
I feel like a lot of people enjoy it, so it doesn't surprise me.
You're just like racing to try and like do more than everybody else by fulfilling all of your orders, and you have to like balance between like doing your boats versus like doing what's on the main board, like all of this different stuff. I freaking loved it. I'd love to show it to you and play it. And I'm really curious to try the expansion because we do have the expansion, which once again we did get before we had the actual game.
Indeed.
Indeed we did. But that's Juicy Fruits. Pretty straightforward, quick game. And we played this. This is like one of the last games that I played at Canada Plays. And it stood out to me enough to want to talk about it. So.
For sure. First one up of my two, as Jimmy mentioned, was one of the games that we got to play at Circle DC. And I think was probably the one...
most anticipated.
I was most anticipated to play because it's a coin game. And playing coin games is difficult. You need... primarily you need 4 people, and then you can play it at less, but it's ideal at 4, and they're bigger experiences. And we were sent a review copy of this game. I did not play our copy, but we were gifted a review copy of this.
Shout out to GMT.
Shout out to GMT for that. And it is Red Dust Rebellion. As mentioned, Red Dust Rebellion is the next iteration in the coin series of games from GMT. This is the first one that is not based on I could be wrong on this, but I think it's the first not based on some form of historical battle. It is based on...
unless you count A Jest for Robin Hood.
But that's not a coin game. It's a regular series conflict game.
Got it.
Red Dust Rebellion takes place on Mars, and there are 4 different factions that you're going to be playing as. Coin games stand for, if you don't know what that means, it means counterinsurgents. These are war games, and each faction has asymmetry and different end game objectives that they're trying to achieve. But in most coin games, there are usually 2 factions that are kind of working together to...
yeah, they'll bounce and play off of each other.
Yeah, so there's usually 2 factions that are kind of working together a bit until they decide, no, we don't want to work together anymore. And similarly, there's another 2 factions. Usually it's like a guerrilla faction or a government faction, that sort of thing. In Red Dust Rebellion, one of the factions is like these, what's it called? They're basically like the religious cult.
Okay.
And they're similar in concept to the Fremen from...
oh, okay.
Dune.
Yeah.
So one faction is playing as this like local religious cult, and their whole objective is to keep Mars the way it is, in its purest form.
Sure. Yeah.
Another faction is technically like the government. So the government faction is basically trying to terraform Mars to make it like more
habitable.
Yeah. Hospitable. They're also utilizing Earth forces, so you can move cubes, troops, and stuff from Earth to Mars to help you achieve your goals.
Okay.
But there's a side track depending on where it goes. That's who has control over the Earth cubes. Because there's another faction which is kind of like the profiteering faction, the like shareholder faction,
sure.
Which is trying to create these terraformers. They're trying to increase their profits. They're trying to make as much money off of Mars as they can.
Gotcha.
And then the 4th faction is the Rebellion faction, is the Red Dust Rebellion faction. And they're fighting against the government's...
tyranny.
Not tyranny, but they're like... They're the inhabitants of Mars, and they're like, this is our planet. Like,
right, we don't want Earthlings.
Yeah, so they're trying to infiltrate their bases, their underground bases, and like take them over and get rid of all the troops. Kind of hand in hand, similarly with the religious faction.
Right. So they're the 2 that kind of
and the religious faction's interesting because like there's these areas of Mars that like there's these storms that can move around and stuff, but they're not impacted by the storms. And they can like last out in the desert areas better than the other factions can, where the other factions kind of have to be bunkered down into these bunker areas and stuff.
Gotcha.
Anyway, long-winded way of me saying this game is phenomenal. We played it twice. The first one was, so I did play it with my friend Sam, Lord of the Board. Go check him out. My friend Charlie and Rodney of Watch It Played fame. We played it first. We didn't play a full game. And that game was a lot of us just being like, oh, that's how that works. This is how that works. It was getting late, too. So we decided to just be like, okay, we've learned. Let's pack it up, and then we'll play a full new game tomorrow with all the things that we learned. It's competing for my favorite coin. You all know how much I love Cuba Libre.
You also love space.
But I also love space.
I want to play.
It was an incredible experience. And I would say it's closer to the Cuba Libre end of the learning spectrum than some of the others. I still think Cuba's the easiest,
like intro,
the easiest to learn.
Intro,
but if you learned Cuba Libre, if you know how to play Cuba Libre, it's not a huge leap into Red Dust Rebellion.
Yeah.
A lot of the same systems and a lot of the factions feel very similar. Yeah,
I would like to play it. I haven't gotten a chance to play, but every time we do like remote async, I'm the problem. It's me.
Jamie is the problem.
It's me.
Jamie never takes her turn.
No, and
here's the problem. Jamie never takes her turn.
I don't like.
And I'll be like, Jamie, it's been your turn for 3 days, and then she just gets mad at me. She's like, I'll take it tonight, and then she never does.
And then I don't do it. Anyways, yes, I really want to play because I do love Cuba. And which faction did you play as?
I was the I can't remember the titles of the factions. It was embarrassing, but I was what was effectively the syndicate of Cuba Libre, the profiteering shareholder faction.
Right.
It was really fun.
Did Rodney play as the government faction?
No, Rodney was the rebellion. Charlie was teaching, so he played as the government faction.
Which is usually the
and
most
then Sam was in last place as the... I took Sam out completely.
R.I.P. Sam. He was the religious cult.
He was the religious cult.
Classic. Yeah, that sounds like fun. I want to play. The next one up is a game that we don't own, and I desperately want to get, and I don't know if you saw my message, but I just invited you and Mike to a game of this.
Oh, cool.
And that is Rumble Nation.
I didn't know it was on BJ.
Yeah, me either, and I just saw it, and I was like, oh. Anyways, so Rumble Nation is from Hobby Japan. This is not a review game that we've been sent. It was one that I played at Canada Plays, and I hadn't heard anything of it. So this is an area control game. The rule set is so simple, so straightforward, but it was so much fun. So basically how it works is you roll like this.
One
3
more
dice.
Got
like that. You roll 3 dice. You combine 2 of the 3 dice to give you a number.
Yep.
That number is going to tell you which region on the map you will be placing your troops in. The other number is going to indicate how many troops, 1, 2, or 3. Okay?
The dice goes up to 3?
No, it's like if you roll a 1 or 2, you could put 1. 2 or 3 is 2, whatever it might be.
Yep.
So that's how that works on your turn. Then you put your troops in that region. Remember, you can combine any of the die to do whatever you like. So you're going to do that. The next person's going to go. You're going to continue until nobody has troops left. Okay. Then you're going to resolve every region. You're going to start from the lowest number region, and you're going to work your way up. Now, the regions all have different regions that are adjacent to them, right? So there's adjacencies. So if you win a region, you can then deploy reinforcements from that region and from, there's like little white meeples that work as well, into any adjacent regions where you have another soldier. So as you start scoring, you're actually growing.
Is it as many reinforcements?
2.
Okay, maximum?
2, yes. 2 per adjacent region that you already are in. And so as you are scoring, you're kind of like growing your population throughout the board.
Can I ask one more question?
Yes.
So if you're here and there's 2 adjacent.
Yeah.
And you had 4, could you do 2 and 2?
Yeah, you do 2 in every. So if there's 3 adjacent regions, and even if you only had 2, that's what the white meeples are for. So you'll add extras. Okay, so let's just say this is the region. You won because you had 2. Somebody else had 1. But you're occupying 2 adjacent regions. You only have 2 meeples. You put 1 in each and then grab the extra meeples.
So
the
it's
white.
always 2.
It's always 2.
Got it.
Yes. So you're
not up to 2. It's
no,
always 2.
Exactly. So you're growing and growing throughout the board. So there might be regions that you're like, oh, I don't think I'm going to win in this one because I don't have very many meeples. By the end, as you like bring more people in, you're like, oh, I actually have a ton of people in this. That's the whole game. And it is like, it was so much fun because you're just like rolling and you're kind of at the
mercy of the
dice. And so you might start going into somebody else's region and they might be like, why are you coming to my region? It's like, well, this is more beneficial because region 2 is worth 2 points. Region 12 is worth 12 points.
Yeah.
And whoever is the second highest gets like half of that. So anyways, it is on Board Game Arena. It's in beta, I think. I can't remember. But I'm excited for you to play because I think
it sounds
you'll really
cool.
like it. It's an area control game where it's not as convoluted as like some of the big games, but it still gives you a relatively like big experience in a pretty quick time.
Yeah, I like the idea, like, because a lot of those area control games are like direct combat, so there is like, bad feelings and stuff.
Yeah.
I prefer that. I like that stuff.
Yeah.
But adding a little bit of randomness to it to be like, well.
Yeah, and it's like a little
bit
of a puzzle.
you didn't need to choose those dice.
No, and it's like, well, do you want to combine these two to go into a region where nobody is knowing that you're for sure going to win, or do you go for one of the bigger points ones where everybody is? And it's really, really good. I would definitely recommend it.
Yeah, it sounds cool. Next one up for me is another one I played at Circle DC. It was and is definitely one of the ones we were most anticipating for a while, and that is from Whirligig Games, Molly House. We don't have a copy of this yet.
I'd like one because I would like to play it.
Hopefully we will get a copy at some point in the future. Molly House is it's not trick-taking. Man, this is going to be hard. It is one of the most unique games I've ever played. I'll just say what the theme is, and then I'll try to get into the mechanism a little bit. You are playing as different factions, I guess, or like individuals who are visiting these molly houses. So you're playing as gay men who are frequenting these molly houses. Correct. And these molly houses are against the law. Yeah. So you're trying to go to these molly houses and hold parties, but what you're not trying to do is draw the attention of the constables. So there are going to be it's not a rondel experience. Yeah. You can go either direction, but it's a board where you're going to be moving around these spaces, and these spaces all have different action economies on them. And then the 4 corner spaces are going to be like the molly houses, right? The places where the parties are going to happen. So as you go on these spaces, you're going to be triggering abilities. It might be like to gain an item, which is going to let you break some rule. It might let you draw cards, because the main economy of this game are the cards in your hand. Or you could go to a molly house to host a party. Now, where it gets interesting is these parties, depending on what kind of party you want to host, because I've triggered the molly house. I'm the host.
You're the host.
I'm the host. I'm the host with the mostest. And I am trying to create a certain type of party. Maybe I want to do a quiet party because a constable's been revealed. Yeah. Or maybe I want to do a dance. Or some other kind of party. And you may be like, well, how is that determined? Well, I'm going to basically condition what type of party I'm hosting. And then the group needs to play cards that equate to that party. So I can't remember all the verbiages, but like the biggest party might be like a ball. And in order to host a ball, you have to have like a flush.
Right,
so,
it's like poker hands then.
Kind of.
Yeah.
So, between the 4 of us, we might have to have 4 of a kind, but they also have to be the same color. Right. And you don't know anyone's cards. You're not allowed to tell people. Like, you can't be like, I have a blue ace. You can kind of have a conversation, be like, oh man, I would really like to host a quiet party right now. Yeah. And that might be like kind of signifying like, oh, I have something bad in my hand that I'm going to have to play. Right. Or you might be like, well, you know what? That's fine. I really want to host a dance. I want to dance. But again, you can't speak to the cards. And at a lower than 4-player count, there's a card deck called the community deck, I believe,
Mhm.
and they're going to play to the party too, but it's off the top of the deck.
Right.
And then once you host those parties, some of those cards are going to go away. Some of them are going to be added back into your hand.
Mhm.
And you're just going to keep playing through that system.
Mhm.
You want the community to gain points. So the
Right.
community has to meet a threshold, and the community being the community you are in, the gay community, the Molly House community,
Mhm.
wants to score points.
Mhm.
But you also, being a host, want to score points as well.
Mhm.
So the end game will be triggered. There's multiple ways, but the end game will be triggered when the community is good. The community's like, yeah, we're
good. We're happy.
we're famous enough now.
We're content
And
with
then
it.
whoever's further along the track during end game would win the game.
Right.
I don't want to say I'm butchering it. There's so much nuance to this game.
Right.
That is a very, very surface level explanation. I felt mid about Molly House,
Mhm.
and I'll tell you why. And it's why I think it's important for me to state this comparable is because it's my favorite game of all time. The first time I played Root,
Mhm.
I was like, oof, not for me.
Yeah.
Molly House
I remember that.
was very much the same. And the reason why is there is so much
Going on.
Yeah. And so much strategy that isn't necessarily like what you would expect in a traditional board game.
Very different.
That you really have to spend a game or two, just like in Root, figuring out how everything works.
Mhm.
And you're not going to do well.
Mhm.
I want to play it more and more.
I want to play it really
because
bad.
I do think it's a game that if I had played it more.
And you could like develop those strategies.
Yeah, because like Sam knew exactly what he was doing.
Sure.
And it was, I think, Charlie's second game, he kind of knew what he was doing. I had no clue.
Mm-hmm. You played it at 3?
But it ended up being, a good game. Sam ended up winning.
He ended up crushing.
He did end up crushing. But as we were, and I pick on him about that, Sam, if you're watching, I pick on him about Molly House. Like, oh, you ruined my experience of Molly House, even though I'm just kidding. He didn't. I had a very good time playing it. But it's just one of those games, it's just like Root. I feel like I need to play a handful of times to fully understand what I'm trying to achieve and then how to do it effectively.
Yeah, that's fair.
But it's beautiful production. Sam had like the metal pieces and like
I really want to get it.
I absolutely adore the theme. There needs to be more games drawing attention to these sort of things.
Yeah, it's a different kind of take on a historical game where it's not like a war game, because that's typically what we get with a lot of the historical games. So it's nice to be able
I
to
think
hear
you would really like Molly House.
So when I was recently on the Board Game Geek podcast, and Candace had played it a bunch. Mm-hmm. She was telling me all about it, and I'm like, this sounds like something that I would love.
It's one of the most unique games I've ever played.
Yeah. I'm really
and I don't mean uniqueness outside of like asymmetry.
Yeah.
It's just mechanically, it's so unique.
Yeah. All right, the last one up for me is a game that I think we just got in the mail. Either we just got it or it's coming very soon, but another game I played at Canada Plays, and that is Pergola. And Pergola is the newest game from Rebel Studio, who you may know, they did the game Meadow, which is a game that we really enjoy. This is a totally different style game. It's beautiful. It's like all watercolor and everything. So basically in this game, you have your own little garden and you have a frog. What did I say? What did I say about frog games?
I never thought when you said pergola, I thought it was going to be like a tower.
No.
Because isn't pergola the
on
Asian...
your little... no, a pergola is like...
Oh, what is the thing I'm thinking of? Pagoda.
A pagoda. Maybe, I don't know.
No, it is. It's pagoda.
So basically you have your little garden board and you have your little frog, and you are going to be selecting garden tools. Okay? So there's like a little market. On that garden tool, it's going to tell you a couple of resources that you get. Then you're going to collect those resources, and all of the resources score differently. So you might want to be building up, I don't remember what all the flowers are called. So, but there's like lavender, and the lavender needs to have 2 grass on either side. You're going to be putting out insects. So the ladybugs need to be on like the rose bush, but the rose bush needs to grow like this because you're scoring how many high and how many wide. The bees, there's like these hanging flowers that put bees in it. and the bees do something else. And
Bees.
then there's a pond, and that's where you're moving your frogs, and the frogs are jumping around the pond to do different things. This is like...
That sounds cool.
It was really fun, and I've only
It's like a backyard theme.
Yeah, it's really pretty. It's like... The rule set's very straightforward. There's a lot of components. Like,
Sure.
there's a lot to this, but you're basically picking a tool, you're like doing a bunch of stuff.
Is it all simultaneous?
No, you're going around in turn. But like, it's...
So if you took like a shovel, I'll have access to the shovel too on my turn.
No, I would take it and put it in my thing, and then we refill the market.
Okay, got it.
But we're all getting shovels. Don't even worry about it. This is a massive like resource management.
Sounds like a you type of game.
Yeah, it's an optimization game completely, because and there's like no interaction. The only thing is you can't jump on the same lily pad as another frog.
Yeah,
because
that
they
makes
don't
sense.
like
They'll
that.
sink.
Exactly. So like that, you're just kind of working on your own thing, trying to score as many points as possible with the different flowers and the bugs and like...
I'd like to try that.
Yeah, and I don't know if we already have it, but if we don't, we'll be getting it soon.
Mm-hmm.
I love multiplayer solitaire games. I love a puzzle. I love an engine builder, like an optimization where you're just trying to like maximize everything that you're doing, and it's very pretty. Now, I've heard one person say they found it to be too light. I did not find that. I found it to be like, it is a lighter game, but it's not like... I would not introduce this to someone.
It's not like King Domino.
Exactly. Yeah. I just thought it was really beautiful, and it was really fun, and I would love to play it. I think it plays solo, and I think it would be a great solo game.
Summer game.
Yeah, or spring game. Honestly, maybe winter to make you feel
I was
warm
waiting
inside.
for it. I was going to say a great winter game to see if you picked up on it, but...
Yeah, I would definitely recommend it to give it a try, especially if you like Meadow, you like the vibes, you like nature,
I liked Meadow
the
a lot.
theme.
Yeah.
It was really pretty, and I really liked it
I want to try that.
Yeah. Those are 5 more games that we have been playing recently. Jeff and I are still in a little bit of a gaming slump. I say that, though you went to Circle DC, played a bunch of games. I went to Canada Blaze, played a bunch of games.
Yeah, we haven't been playing a lot together.
No, we did our game day, but that was about it. But like, it's tough. Things are busy.
We have a lot. Yeah, there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on right now.
A lot of good stuff.
A lot of good stuff. You'll hear about all that later, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But anyways, that is everything that we have for today. I do want to give a shout out. I think this is the last video of the month. A shout out and a big thank you to Only Then Studios for being our April sponsor of the month. Darkleaf Gambit is going to be coming out soon, and we are going to have a playthrough for it coming out very soon. So you should definitely keep your eyes peeled for that one. You can also try it on TTS. All the links for that, everything are going to be down below. And if you would like, they also have a game called Wicked Cribbage. So if you're into cribbage and you want to get a little saucy with it.
Yeah, it's a fun little twist on normal crib.
Yeah, it's just like it turns crib even meaner.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Which is fun.
If you're not a crib purist like I'm not, and you want to get a little twist in,
like a little spice
it's a little spicy way to play some cribbage.
Exactly. That's going to be coming soon, but I think that's everything that we have for today. Now, if you're interested in buying board games, like any of the many we mentioned today, you should first start by checking your friendly local gaming store. And for us, that is...
The Boardroom Game Cafe.
Heck yeah, it is. If you like what you see,
please subscribe.
We hope to see you again soon. And now we say goodbye. Goodbye.
Later days.
Do you know what that made me think of? From New Girl. I'm gonna cut you like a log. Do you remember that?
I'm having a hard time not looking at the TV. Right
yeah,
now,
the TV's up there. The camera's right there.
It wasn't bad before.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Y'all ready for this?
Like, look. It's too long.
It's luscious. And it's just that these little ones go, eek.
Yeah, well, like, this is the
You just
problem.
need to, like, you need one of those curved scissors. Do you know what I mean? They're, like, curved, and you just, like, kind of go around your face. Jeff, do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? Yeah, we had mezza for lunch, and Jeff got it all over himself.
I did.
It was wild. And then we bought donuts. Anyways, okay,